Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, welcome back to the Deplorable Batcave. I am your, let's see, what would be a good word for me? Infamous host, Spartacus Ryuo. And once again, we have our basket of deplorables here to talk about current events, news, and other shitposting and trash talk in general. Starting with my left, we have Ice and Fire.
Yo, wait. I thought I was on the Ice and Fire and Friends show. You know, the show that we haven't done in 10 months. What's up, internet?
Blibbity Blop.
Hello.
See, well,
Help me! He's kept me in the basement.
damn it, Igor, I told you not to. Okay, sorry about that. Gimpy is joining us in the chat. He will not be able to speak, but you can type in a hello, Gimpy. Yes, you are. Beggar Hero.
Wait a second. I still got to get my 10 beers in.
We do not subscribe to that level of degeneracy here, Beggar. Z.
I just can't believe it. Was he born without a mouth? Like, is it not even there? Like,
He was born with two asses.
Jesus Christ. Anyway.
And Wandering is here, but we believe that he might be unironically wandering at the moment. So, with that said, gentlemen, we have topics to talk about because it's been a while. So, we're going to start off with something more lighthearted, something we can all enjoy. Jordan Peterson embracing his inner ethnic diversity by committing rape and murder on television.
Sort out your lobster.
I love me some lobster in the morning.
Oh god, I'm surprised the British police didn't burst the door down and turn it into a hostage situation, because that was brutal.
I think he was in Holland by that point.
I think...
He just hold a lobster up to her and be like, "Don't even think about it, Buckle."
Well, it's vaguely knife-shaped, its claws are at least, so yeah. They'd see that as threatening in Britain.
It's
Actually,
They'd be like, "Get yourself sorted."
Actually, guys, we need to get together. We need to send Jordan Peterson a lobster with a name tag. We're going to name it Clamps. Anybody seen Futurama?
Yeah, it's like
Snips?
Futurama reference?
Yes, it's Futurama. You'll get the Clamps!
I think it's a fitting kind of conclusion, in a way, because it's like the greatest honage video I've ever seen, ever. Like, I don't feel like I ever need to, like, see another one, really, because
It's the best thing since Ben Shapiro Thug Life.
What I find quite interesting is that even here, the left-wing media is starting to capitulate and recognize what a shit show it was, or at the very least acknowledge the sheer dignity and awesomeness of Peterson in that interview. Let me find a Times article.
Oh, I'd argue quite the opposite. I mean, there's been a lot of shit from left-wing media from both the U.S. and the UK and Canada, but, you know, who gives a shit about Canada? The only good thing to come out of there was Peterson.
I like
Karen Strom's pretty cool.
I have the article in question.
Wait, she's Canadian? Okay, make it two things.
And most of the honey badgers.
I like Canadian, Scots, Gaelic, and Nova Scotia in general, so I kind of have to like at least part of
Boy,
it.
maple syrup, you motherfucker.
The western half of Canada is fine. The eastern half is the part that needs to get taken care of, you know.
That's where Nova Scotia is, you bastard!
I'm kidding, of course. I mean, but by that I mean let's just take over the west. Yeah, let's just take over Nova Scotia, the western half of the fucking. Let's just invade the western half of Canada.
Back on the focus, gentlemen.
I thought that was the focus.
We'll talk about our world domination plans another time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like it's the best ponage video that has ever been done, and it's kind of because I do know a little bit about the whole Kraut and T skeptic collapse drama. In a way, the era of the skeptic SJW ponage genre is kind of waning, but it's sort of fitting that it goes out with this bright hurrah in a way, because this is the greatest one I've ever
you
seen.
mispronounced it. It's not the skeptic community, it's the septic community.
Oh, septic, okay. It's something.
Yeah, because
It's like
somebody,
Iron.
yeah,
I'm sorry, go on.
yeah, they pulled the plug both ways on that one, down the drain and just flatlining.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, you guys, but I'm the liberalist in this community here.
Get the fuck out.
We were gonna have a liberalist, but someone didn't show up to the show. But
Sort yourselves out. Back on topic.
Wait, we shouldn't speak of that. We do not know what's holding, what was holding up our friend.
I'm not gonna speak native of him. There's probably a good reason.
Yeah.
We won't even say who. We
Don't.
won't even mention his name.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to cast shade either, but
Life happens. That's what we all want to say here at the Deplorable Bat podcast.
Here, wait. Everyone, give me a sec. Everyone, give me a sec here. All right, look, we're not even gonna mention that should have been here anyways, and they won't even know if Blip had to censor it out or not. Blip, censor that.
I got the lobster on call.
But yeah, we recognize that life happens, and then you die. Sometimes unlife happens, and then we have to double tap, and it's just a whole mess.
Yeah, when was the last time I was here?
Yeah. So
One second, I gotta go murder a dog.
They had it coming.
but yeah, this was just ponage on a scale we haven't seen in quite some time.
Okay, it's like watching a man's creation, his masterpiece, just ripped apart piece by piece by an even greater master. It's amazing just to watch. It's the sorrow and just nihilism just washes over the face of the interviewer, who's probably in an insane asylum right now.
I mean, because it was literally every straw man that we've ever had to deal with was thrown at him, and he just shredded all of them.
Yeah, I think a good
actually,
a good example of how he was able to do that so effectively is by his own admission. He was simply studying her. She was merely one of his patients. and the beauty of that is that he just no fucks were given. So you watch that interview again, just look at his overall demeanor, how his body language. He's merely studying her. And every time she throws out something that would infuriate anybody else with a patronizing tone. No, I'm not saying that at all. Oh,
No, I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is something that makes sense.
actually,
So what he's saying is.
okay. So, guys, if anybody knows anything about Wonders of the Ancient World, China had the Terracotta Army. This was the Strawman Army, and one man defeated it.
Batman?
yeah. Well,
All
the
he
Terracotta
had to
Army
do-
got buried.
Lobster Man. No, it was Lobster Man.
All he needed to do was light a single match, and all of the strawmans burned that day. It was the greatest massacre ever recorded in human history.
Knock the fuck out!
I mean, honestly, the way I saw it going is she had this script of how she thought it was going to go down, and she really didn't know who she was about to talk to. Like, it's one thing if you are going to accuse your opposition of being some dumb. I mean, what she was trying to do is say, this is some dumb alt-right Nazi demon, and I'm going to torture a confession out of him. And,
Bot. Don't forget alt-right bot.
yeah, she forgot that that's what you say on the internet. That's not what you do when you have the person right in front of you. Like, it's very hard to make that accusation, especially if the person isn't going to follow the script. And she also made the mistake. I mean, blessing for us and the rest of the world in accuracy, but she made the mistake of allowing that video footage to get released unedited. Like, I'm shocked that Channel 4 let that video
Well, I think they did it live, so there's no way.
They did it live. I'm pretty
They
sure
did it
that.
liid, so there's no way they could have edited
I
it.
thought it wasn't. I thought it wasn't
No,
a live
but
broadcast.
I watched that video, for instance, whilst it had been recorded and uploaded to their YouTube channel. I didn't want to give them the view count, but there was nowhere else where the full interview was. And ironically, as far as I know, it's their most viewed video in a shorter space of time they've ever had.
No shit. That's gonna be one of the top 10 like videos on YouTube.
Well, that is going to be a textbook study in years to come, probably in his classes. Now, this is how you don't argue.
Oh, you know he's totally not.
If
I mean,
among
he
you
is
would
totally
like
going to do
to
that.
continue as to how this isn't an argument,
And he has Stefano, and you just pop in. This is not an argument.
Well, it sure shows the narrative is starting to peel away a bit.
Can I ask a simple question? Have
gotcha.
any of you taken the lobster's lesson to heart yet?
I have not, because,
No, I'm not on antidepressants.
Well, I understand it's hard to stand up straight the whole time during your life. I mean, heck, I've started doing it, and actually, I've realized I'm such a sloucher that it hurts. Fuck, I'm in a sorry state, bucko. But it's actually something you might want to do. It generally does imbue you with a better sense of confidence. I'm not even kidding when I say that. Jordan Peterson is self-help for smart people.
Gotcha.
I mean,
So-
okay, I personally am more like, I'm not totally like Medicare when it comes to my thoughts on Jordan Peterson, but I do kind of like agree somewhat. But at
And
the
those
same
opinions
time-
are?
Well, Medicare's general take on it is that, man, there is some cringy fans of his. And it's kind of getting Rick and Morty-esque in a sense.
Oh, hardly.
Well, let me ask you this, though. I will ask you this. This is actually something that he's gotten emotional over, and it's quite strange to see Jordan Peterson getting emotional. And he's been through some heavy shit in his life, particularly with his children. And when
I don't know
he's
his
when
backstory.
he's when he's stating that he's had men approach him who've never had positive reinforcement in their entire lives, and they're finally able to take it in the form that he provides. It may sound cringy, and I'm sure there is a lot of cringy stuff out there, but it makes sense that
Yeah.
you've got a generation that are being brought up with the most despicable, I was going to say values, if you can even call it that.
But it's a lack thereof.
Yeah, and they're finally hearing something that not only resonates, but it provides them with everything that they actually need.
Well, the problem is late baby boomers and Gen
think
X.
it's going to be cringy at all.
Late baby boomers
he's
and
not
Gen
making
X
them
have a
dependent on him.
problem.
He's giving them the tools to be able to.
Well, but the thing is, it's not Gen X
themselves
and Blip. It's not Gen X and late baby boomers who are the problem people right now. Right now, it's Gen Y that he's helping fix. As someone who's in Gen Y, I can say this much: that the stuff I've been learning, I mean, is just remarkable.
Can Gen Y be fixed?
Oh,
You mean
totally. You can totally be a fixed person.
You mean
You
generations
can sort
I
yourself
can't
out,
be?
bucko.
No, that's the next generation. They're already fine.
No,
No
Gen Z
approval.
actually, no. Gen Z also
no,
is suffering
Don't get
from
me wrong,
nihilism.
like, I totally understand why, like, Peterson has this sort of tent revival mystique around him, because, like, especially if you're a male in a Western country, because of
Who's disenfranchised.
you're disenfranchised. A lot of people don't have the advantage of having a phone. Like, I'm unique in that my dad was around.
Well, even if you do have a dad, you might not have a good dad. You might have a dad who's
Or,
never
yeah,
there.
you might just have like a dad who's not totally there, or not very competent, or he's a little fucking pussy. You
Oh, no. Mine's damn good dad. I owe him a
Or
lot.
perhaps you have a dad who's a boss and not a leader, and those are the biggest problems.
Yeah, so you don't have. So I can see why Peterson's sort of taking off. I mean, for me, I don't look at him and get good advice, but then again, I don't feel like I.
But that's because you don't need it. You
You're
don't
well-rounded,
necessarily follow the grain. See, there's a massive amount of people out there. Obviously, I can't
Yeah.
put a number to it.
I mean, let's face
If
it.
you only look at, you should know this. You look at what a syllabus of a school will be showing, and it's what they're cramming into young men's heads.
Basically,
Oh yeah, it's
And
pretty
at
bad.
fucking university level,
Yeah.
it's even
God,
worse.
man.
I mean, you all have listened to my stuff in the Batcave itself. Yeah, the system destroyed me.
The syllabuses I try to produce are as neutral as I can get away with doing, without raising enough suspicion to cause me any kind of problems. But
So
yeah,
you
I
don't
recognize that there's a lot that's stacked
Okay,
against.
but see, go back to kindergarten, go back to early school, and look what they're teaching young boys.
It's probably,
I mean,
yeah.
you're not even allowed to call them young boys.
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong, I understand kind of on some level it's just as an outsider who isn't part of that, like, wow, this guy, like, is speaking directly to me. I kind of look on with a bit of confusion at it. So, unfortunately, I can't, but I do have to say, man, when he goes toe-to-toe with these people, it's art. It's and I was in an art museum a few days ago, so I can just say, yeah, it's like a beautiful painting in a way, made in blood.
Just remember,
It's like a Raphael,
he's
which, by the
not
way,
debating
is
them; he's studying them.
All right, so can we? Is there anything else we could squeeze out of this? Because it's like we're retreading ground here.
Oh, well, I want to end up with one. Sorry, Eisen, you want to say something?
Yeah, I do want to say this though. Z, I mean, even if you contend what you will with the level of positive reinforcement and generally the helpfulness, and I would, like I said, he's self-help for smart people. Peterson ultimately is just his thoughts, his ideas of the world, and the way he analyzes them, and basically the only empirical variation of psychology is remarkable.
This sounds like a discussion that we should have at another time,
Yeah,
and not in here.
I'm only bringing it up because of his book release that just happened.
I just want to close with this part. I think the fallout from this is going to awaken normies into examining. Hang on a second, this guy is actually pretty reasonable. He hasn't said anything.
Actually, didn't Teal Deer basically just say that in his newest video?
He did?
Yeah.
In not so few words, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
He basically
Look,
the title of the video was called "I'm not alt-right, but I soon will be."
yeah, he's talking about how the alt-right and people like Jordan Peterson, because they're all lumped together, people are saying, let's listen to the alt-right and support people who say they're alt-right. It's kind of it becomes this shorthand for the reasonable people. It's a mistake the left has basically made. They've developed their own worst enemy. They've created their own worst fear.
The terrible idea is if that happens, because not only does the left lose, but the right loses too. At least the true right.
No. Well, then, Eisen, you misunderstand. Basically, everyone that they're calling the alt-right. It's not.
I know, but...
It's not the actual alt-right itself. That Peterson or Moore, the guy from Google, that got fired from Google. Yeah. All those people are considered alt-right. They're calling them alt-right. So they're gonna they're gonna listen to what they're saying and like, wait a minute, these guys these are being backed up.
Yeah.
So whereas if I even question this, I'm screamed at and being called a Nazi, white supremacist, blah blah blah. I think I'd rather listen to these guys.
Well, also Eisen, I'm not saying that the Richard Spencer wing of the alt-right, the guys that aren't really right-wing and kind of the crazy side of ethno-nationalism.
Center-leftists.
Center-leftists who are ethno-nationalists. You're kind of ignoring a big other part of the alt-right, which is kind of the disaffected conservatives, the non-neo-conservatives.
Don't get me wrong, I know the
what will
alt-right...
What will eventually happen is...
That's the problem. They're paleocons.
Yeah. Well, Eisen, what you're kind of mildly missing is it's not a bad thing that all these people are lumped together, because what could come out of it is kind of a patchwork amalgam of great ideas and develop into a much better movement that'll probably have a different name, but it may actually keep the name alt-right. Or,
as history shows, and this is the part that personally I'm afraid of as someone who's part of what would be considered alt-right just because I'm a libertarian who likes borders, is you can have a co-opting of the movement from the radical variation of it that basically then creates a fucking populist movement that takes over the American right and turns us into literal Weimar Germany. Which, believe me, I think we can all agree that a country with the power of the U.S. becoming Nazi, an actual Nazi nation, which could be possible
game scenario.
Take over.
Eisen?
Yeah.
Yes, that is a legit possibility. However, we're aware of the lunatic fringe nature of our group this time.
Yeah. And
just as something done.
That's what they said last time. This isn't this...
Yeah, but last time, everything was falling apart.
The first group. We don't know the first radical group. They've always existed.
But,
and we
but we are digressing.
But we can't control them.
I'll
we're
speak as a
No, but this is
historian,
important discussion to have.
academics respond guy. I think too many people spend their time fighting previous battles, and I'm going to be of the opinion the Nazis are dead and gone and they're never coming back.
Yeah, the ideology failed.
Worrying about a return of the exact same thing we've seen is, if anything, going to blind you to what is actually going to be coming, because you're looking to fight a ghost when it's not there.
I'm not looking to fight a ghost. I'm looking to fight I hate to sound in fear of sounding like a leftist though, and they're not making it better, by the way. I'm in fear of.
We're putting this argument to bed.
Yeah. You need not fear it. It's Nazism is merely an economic policy.
I'm not saying Nazism. Nazism is gone.
Yeah. It's an economic policy.
It's authoritarianism.
That'll never go away, and you know it. It will always crop up from time to time.
Yeah, and we have to do our best job to pluck the weeds.
Next topic.
All right. So, that got a little serious at the end, so let's just go ahead and go with an old standby. We're going to mock CNN for a little bit. CNN has officially endorsed cucking as a lifestyle choice.
Imagine my shock.
They're claiming that cucking is a potentially healthy recourse for relationships.
Nope, it isn't. Not in any way, shape, or form.
Smart, is that a euphemism for that's the only recourse that the individuals writing that article have available to them?
Dude, fuck Wolf Blitzer, though.
Yeah.
Well, it's like that Salon article about that one chick with the lesbian orgy.
Yeah, I can't remember who said it. I think it was Gavin McInnes, something along those lines.
Friendly reminder, by the way, that that New York, the governor of New York, is related to a CNN reporter. And if it's not enough to show you how shitty New York is as a state, then now you understand why CNN's such shit.
I spent enough time there to know that. The thing is that as Gavin McInnes, I think it was Gavin McInnes who pointed out, it's like nothing makes a vagina drier than a soy boy.
Yeah, and then of course, to be fair, that was basically something Crowder said like 2 years ago.
Oh, well, you can work it out between you all to see who stole it from who then.
And no one stole it from anyone. It's just a general thought process. It's the let's call it what it is. The logical.
I'm sure Confucius said it somewhere back in time.
No. Let me finish this. It's not. No one's stealing it because it's just logic. You're gonna come to that conclusion in about 5 minutes of thinking about the topic.
Mm.
Let's be. It's just common sense.
But cuckoldry is merely an economic policy.
And a national interest.
Look, the problem with cuckoldry, it doesn't breed a very important thing within a relationship, which is the self-sacrifice for the other. The only way to make a really successful relationship is to have that self-sacrifice. It's what binds the two together.
Isn't that by default, Seymour? There is self-sacrifice. Just a very unpleasant one.
Well, okay, here's the thing. It has to be mutual self-sacrifice. It can't be one person sacrificing and the other gets whatever they want. It has to both be equally sacrificing, in a sense.
You want see? Well, no, you don't get to talk to me, my wife, or my wife's son ever again.
God.
Becca?
Yep. No, I mean, what else can I say? I mean, families are going changes, and this stuff's not really good.
I mean, my God. I mean, it'll lead to conversations like this. Oh, he's cute. How old is he? He's 7. And how long have you been married? 10 years. Okay, so he's your son then? No. What? Think about what I just said, gentlemen.
I don't like where this is going.
Well, no, the kid is 7 years old. He's been and he and his
married
wife,
10 years,
and it's not his kid.
Mm-hmm.
He's my wife's kid.
Yes.
Okay, I'm of the theory that a lot of it comes down to, like, have you ever met anybody who calls themselves polyamorous?
I seen
Yes.
on Tinder.
Yeah. Isn't that a very polite way of saying complete whore?
Okay, usually...
No, it's a polite way of saying him Sterling.
I have met a poly... They're not a couple, I don't know what you would call it, but there's 3 of them.
Mistake.
Okay.
Yeah, that's an accurate description of what I saw. 3 mistakes.
Actually, yeah, I've been to places where I've seen such things.
Well, I think that it's a very, like... You encounter it among very liberal, very elite circles because it's considered progressive. And there is this goal of trying... I think...
It's not just liberal elites. That's actually a whole sub-community. It's part of the quote-unquote kink community.
What's the
I
difference?
think there's an attempt to make it like a social movement in a kind of way, because if you've ever talked to really poly people, and I have unfortunately also talked to really, like, just... I talked to people who wanted to be poly, but the 2 of them are too ugly to find a 3rd or 4th who would be willing. Like, even the girl, it was like... They wanted to be roommates with me and my girlfriend, and we were like...
Nature has conspired against them to
we're gonna
prevent
put a hard pass
breeding
on that
ugly.
one. We were gonna put a hard... They insisted on 3 cats, and they were poly, and we're like, oh, this is no-go. We're not roommating with these people.
The weirdest thing I found as a pansexual, and, you know, if we'll put it this way, if they're willing to make jokes about how they want to fuck pans, then they're fine.
Yeah.
I'm not going to agree with the fucking process, but sure, whatever the fuck.
No, a lot of the poly people I've encountered have been very, like, they're kind of like vegans. If you're not vegan, they're like, how dare you? But in this case, it's you're sexist and
So what you're saying, see, is that there's serious deficiencies there.
Yeah, there's something ain't right. But no, like, every poly person I've ever met, I'm like, these people have no business breeding, fucking each other, being around each other. This is a disaster.
I think it's them, being jealous of individuals who can have multiple sexual partners within their life, and they kind of deep down realize I will be lucky if I ever have one, so they're trying to basically stack the odds in their favor by making everyone promiscuous.
Spark, are you still part of this forum?
No.
Look,
if you were to be, what I suggest is changing your avatar to Mike Pence holding the shockers.
yes.
That would get you banned, but yeah.
Yes. All the way.
Because almost everybody there is at least bisexual.
Alright, here's what I'm gonna say. So, here's what needs to happen, alright? I may be pretty pro-freedom. I'm the freedom fuckboy in this fucking group. But,
actually, we might as well, this topic has completely gone off the rails.
Yeah, okay. But these fun topics are fun.
Okay, let him finish his point.
Here's the thing. I think that perhaps we can come to an agreement that in exchange for every other freedom, we put in place basically a system where you have a thing active that is injected into you at birth, and it's injected both men and women, and you have to... It basically prevents your ability to actually properly copulate enough so that you develop a kid. And you have to pass a test to get it removed. Procreating. And you basically, if you pass the test, congrats, you get to be a parent and they remove it. Otherwise, you aren't allowed to fucking reproduce. So we can get rid of people like that, you know?
Yep.
Okay. Next topic, Spark.
Cheating on the test win.
Well, we have a couple of major events we could go to, or we could do it with Shitlord Central.
My vote is Shitlord Central, since the big stuff will consume pretty much the rest of the time, guaranteed.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, a few days ago...
You didn't take any other votes.
I am the overlord
here. The two important votes spoke out. That's all that matters.
Okay. All right. Well, I figured that was just a general consensus because no one spoke against.
Well, Germany and Italy just spoke out, so it's not like we need, Japan.
I do concur with you.
Yeah.
So, a few days ago, people who've been following the Twitter feed of Pol News Network will be aware of the little movement called #MyBordersMyChoice.
Yes.
Glorious.
It's okay to be white people doing another Grand tour of America.
Oh, it got better. It wasn't just America. It happened all over the world.
Granted, it was mostly Reddit boys and not 4chan.
But one country in particular, please. Please let it be the one I'm thinking of.
It happened in Britain, yes.
Oh, no, I was thinking of another one.
Well,
Poland.
Which showed its support. But I'll let you carry on, and if you don't mention it, I'll mention it afterwards.
Well, actually, it happened in France, too.
It's not the one in particular, but carry on.
Poland.
I don't know about Poland. Actually, I think it did happen in Poland.
Well, there's that crazy one with the people go around the borders.
Yep.
But anyway, so these flyers were put up various places in different parts of the countries. And California obviously took exception to this. To the point where they're declaring it hate speech. They're declaring it assault.
All I know is that I can feel their salt.
Does that mean a forum is an assault weapon?
Yup.
Probably.
And
Look,
then they said that,
Assault weapon.
and then in the same state they said it was a threat to commit rape.
Someone call an ambulance.
For
I can't breathe.
for the people who aren't aware of this, it's basically an image of the whichever country was posting the flyer with the national flag on that country, with a troubled face and a couple of arms holding itself protectively, with the caption "No means no." #My borders, my choice. An obvious play on, my body, my choice.
But that works both ways, but because no means you're not accepted here. Get out.
I mean, it was a beautiful. Actually, I thought it was a beautiful idea and a beautiful campaign because it went up. It went up in the U.S. It went up in Canada. It went up in
Sweden, Germany,
Oh yes, it happened in Sweden. That was the beautiful part. It actually happened in Sweden.
Spain.
It happened all over the world, and for something that wasn't 4chan organized, this was amazing.
Yeah, I
Okay,
gotta give
well-
it back to the Donald. This didn't suck.
Speaking of the Donald, Spot, you didn't mention the country, so I will. Somebody professed their love of the Donald because they clearly know the way.
What happened?
From the Independent, no less.
In Kenya.
Uganda.
Uganda.
It happened.
Uganda. Wow, the internet's gonna kill me for that one. Sorry, I've been playing way too much. I've been playing way too much fucking Hearts of Iron 4. I'm just as Italy, you just gotta hold Libya and Kenya, you're fucked.
It's Ethiopia.
Well,
No, Libya, Kenya, and Ethiopia.
Oh.
Anyway, okay, but this wasn't quite in the same topic, but but oh man, it just watching this campaign unfold and the chaos result. I mean, this might as well have been a 4chan hit. It was that good.
I think it was actually a concerted effort between, I think that's the right word to use, I don't fucking know, between the Donald and 4chan. For one, this is the second time they've worked together, and that is concerning. Because if you have Reddit and 4chan work together,
that's terrifying, actually.
Yeah, I don't want
that's
that. No one
Gamergate.
wants that.
That's Gamergate.
No. Gamergate was just a movement of a bunch of individuals. If you see these two consistently work together, I'm afraid of what that means, because the internet's going to destroy you.
Oh god, you basically have the raw autism of Reddit going through the weapon
The raw autism of 4chan.
Oh god, no.
The raw is autism of Reddit being filtered to the weaponized autism.
Yes, the weaponization facility, the autism weaponization facility that is 4chan, turning into weapons-grade autism at a level we have never seen before. Guys, I'm sorry, guys. We're going to have to be 1 second to midnight. I'm moving up the apocalypse clock. We're 1 second to midnight.
So wait, can we call this one the Autism 1 scandal?
The autism one, so that makes it sound like a starship.
The autism one.
See, anything to add?
That's Blib's dinghy he uses when he escapes to the fucking U.S. after his nation goes full cuckery.
It's the
That's
flagship.
too much autism. I don't think that should be legal, really. I think that's a dangerous amount of autism. That's like
Do you want an autism weapons ban?
That's spawning the Eye of Terror level autism right there. Like you're gonna create a fifth god of chaos made of autism.
That's
out
fucking
of that.
Yogg-Sothoth at that point. You are summoning Yogg-Sothoth.
Vega, anything to add?
Oh, that was an earthquake.
I think they know the way.
See, I just love Zeke just saying, hey, that was an earthquake.
Yeah, I was like, the ground shook, and I texted my girlfriend.
No, that was a blue-haired lecturer waddling.
That would be the art teacher, because I convinced...
That was Big Red getting off the
Dearest.
airplane.
I convinced Dearest to take a painting class, so, you know.
Pay attention,
I'm sorry for your loss.
Okay, so
Great.
all right. So apparently we can put this one to bed. Next topic we got. We're actually going to go into the more. Actually, no. We're gonna continue lighthearted because I think we need that before we get into grinning at everything going wrong. So John Kerry is about to get hit with a Trump curse.
Who?
John Kerry.
I say we.
Okay, wait.
No,
Many
Spark.
of you
You misunderstand.
were young. Let
I'm-
me explain John Kerry. So
No,
there
ZZ,
was
I'm a
this
political science
horse-
student. I was being
there was-
facetious.
No. This horse-faced man tried to become president.
And
Didn't
failed.
for him. He is as interesting as a manila envelope taped
See?
to a white wall.
See? Why the long face?
Yeah. Nay.
But so yeah, he's declaring a presidential run in 2020. He also contacted the officials leading the Palestinian movement and told them to not negotiate with Trump. So, if anyone here remembers recent history and remembers a little thing that the left tried to hit Trump with, that little known act from
1799 that has only ever been used twice and not successfully either time. The cases were both dropped before it actually made it to a courtroom.
the Logan Act.
Yes.
Guess what? In this case, because John Kerry is not an ambassador, not in a position where he is to be in communication with foreign powers that are in a conflict with the United States, no matter how benign, he has violated a felonious law.
Are you tired? You getting
Yes.
Oh my
tired?
god, but if it gets enough of a crime, he could actually be fucking murdered for that. John Kerry literally could be put
Holy
to death
shit!
if they give him a high
Treason.
treason charge.
Yeah, this could be. It's very, very sketchy, but it could be considered high treason.
I mean,
Meanwhile, the gallows just got 10 feet higher.
You mean the
But-
guillotine?
but in all seriousness, yeah, he literally, the very wording of the act, even though it was vague as fuck, he broke it. Because he never had the authority. He's not an actual member of the government.
Yeah, but he speaks French.
That's irrelevant. And his wife's a commie. What's your point?
No, that's a reason.
If I remember correctly, his wife is literally a communist.
10 feet higher. Oh, that is glorious.
So, yeah, we might be watching the Trump curse hit somebody harder than they've ever been hit before. As in, they purposefully commit a crime, and they might go to prison for acting out against Donald Trump.
See, your thoughts?
That's stunning. It's what a fitting in to a really boring, uninteresting person. I mean,
That's a Vietnam vet you're talking about there.
it's the most interesting thing.
Yeah, and Benedict Arnold was a vet of the Revolutionary War. He was an uninteresting person that eventually we should have just fucking shot.
Like, okay, great for his service and everything or whatever. But I will say the man is very dull, and this is probably the most interesting thing that's happened to him in like 30 years.
other than his failed presidential run.
That was a pretty boring presidential run, I have to say.
How do you lose
Low energy.
to Bush? How can you be more low energy than George W. Bush?
Jeb Bush,
He's got you there.
please clap.
Yeah.
Nuclear.
I mean, there are lower energy people. I mean, let's see.
Damn,
Bush
get
Senior.
Madden, dude.
But anyway, yeah. I mean, seriously, the only things I remembered about John Kerry were, okay, he ran for president. His wife is the heiress to Heinz, and she's a communist.
She makes cash. Good for her.
So, from the Johnny Foreigner perspective, the only thing that made John Kerry even recognizable was that he was able to give the French an orgasm by speaking in their native language.
Actually, you know what? We're going to use that as a transition to the next topic. Speaking of the French. What
Dude,
the fuck?
I don't partake in gay sex.
What the fuck is Macron?
Okay, I'll tell you what Macron is. He's a paradox wrapped in an enigma inside of the head of a schizophrenic.
Okay, for those that missed it, which might include Ison, I don't know, Macron has officially declared that he will not recognize a Palestinian state.
Okay. I remember, I'm just going to say this. I remember when Blip was skeptical. All I'm going to say is the truth. And this is equally hilarious, amazing, and terrifying.
Fuck you! Fuck you,
Yeah,
Ison!
Macron, in the attempt to stop French Trump in the form of Le Pen, they accidentally voted French Hitler. And I'm...
Blip, I need you to listen to me for a very
No,
important second.
I'm on the
Blip,
I'm on the
Blip.
point of rage quitting.
Blip. I need you to listen to me. Stop, just listen to me. Macron is a better leader than Theresa May.
Oh, God. He's going to actually leave the call now.
Oh, maybe not yet. Our subway doesn't carry on through certain stations because it's too dangerous to. Yet.
Okay, he's got 1 point.
Whew.
But yeah, so yeah, we have the president of France saying that he will not recognize a Palestinian state. I'm pretty sure his EU masters are not happy with this statement.
No, he preempted Poland. How is that
He's
possible?
going to want Poland.
Juncker's not too happy.
In Czechoslovakia.
See, anything to add?
He's a weird character, man. He comes up with, like, okay. The thing I love about Macron is that when he was elected, all of my very liberal Facebook friends who are dejected by the victory of Trump over their sacred lady Hillary acted as if he was like a sign from God that the end was near. They were gonna upend the Trumpian wave around this world. It was finally happening. And then he starts doing stuff they don't like, and I like posting those articles just to see how they react.
Well, so you're putting the knife in, and you're twisting slowly, is what you're telling us.
No,
One
guys,
of
here's
them
the thing.
even said Macron was their source of hope in the Trumpian age. I tag that bitch in every single one of these articles I post. I get a sadistic thrill out of this, honestly.
They got it
Never
half
to make an
right.
enemy of you.
He is a source of hope and a signal of God for the end.
Fuck you, Ison.
Half right.
I'm half chubs every time I do it. Like, I'm about to get a boner from just sheer spite.
You have
Hey,
started
welcome to the club.
You've stepped into my world. Dang.
The only way I could love Macron more if it was like, if he was a very attractive 19-year-old Vietnamese girl with a French accent. Then
Don't forget the penis. They got to be a ladyboy.
ew, no, that
I'm afraid
That's Thailand, not Vietnam.
See, I'm afraid he's taken. He's already married to Merkel.
Ugh.
But anyway, of
I
course,
hope he's cheating. I
the-
hope
the-
he's
the-
cheating.
of course the We got several European nations that are trying to recognize an independent Palestine, like Belgium, Luxembourg, Slovenia, and Ireland.
So all the ones that don't matter.
Yep. But yeah, so that was a nice little segue. Yay.
Ireland, spend more time trying to revitalize your native language and stop fucking worrying about Arabs.
Aren't they aborting the entirety of the next generation?
Wait,
anyway?
I don't speak potato.
Oh, Aaron, go proud yourself.
All right, so I guess we come to the more meaty stuff to talk about. We have two topics. Which do we want to go first? The memo or the fact that one guy found the missing texts?
Wait, it was one guy? I thought it was from the DOJ.
Well, the one guy at the DOJ found what the FBI lost.
Well, let's give a bit of background first, Spot.
Okay, so the memo.
Quick note, we are at 45 minutes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I'll have to leave in 10.
Okay. So we'll try and get to this quickly.
All right, so the memo is basically the entirety of would be a summation of Trump being completely and utterly right, and the Obama administration spying on him and trying to derail his entire campaign. He basically, it's everything he claimed during the campaign and election, verified in one document.
So that is more than enough reason why the Dems were so head over heels to try and suppress this.
Basically, this implies Barack Obama. This implies Hillary Clinton. This implies the entire DNC. This
Look, smart. My penis can only get so erect. Calm down.
It's a hell of a story.
Okay, let's put it this way. Remember that bigger, more powerful button that actually works?
Yes.
This memo is that button, and he's just waiting to press it.
I still love how our president is literally making penis comparisons about nuclear hell winter. We've entered the best timeline, gentlemen.
Ison, you getting tired?
Nope. I got my Mountain Dew Kickstart right here, a PepsiCo product.
But
Still waiting on the Pepsi sponsor.
So that's the memo. The texts, on the other hand, were a bunch of communications between two members of the FBI
Who were in an adulterous affair.
That were super pro-Hillary to the point where they were trying to find anything they could on Trump. Basically, they were completely politically compromised and were acting on it in their own time on the clock.
It's an amazing string of events. First of all, I think Trump might be one of the luckiest people in that his opposition is so unlucky
and or incompetent.
The two things almost seem like the same thing at this point, in my eyes. It's just like...
I mean, seriously, how the fuck do you get physical evidence that everything he said was true?
They started a crusade to prove he was a Putin Manchurian candidate. And mainly what they've proven is that the last president was using his power of office to fuck with his political opponents at every turn.
Not only that he was basically playing as a tin pot dictator of a banana republic.
Yeah,
well,
it's incredible. It's profound, and it's profound that it's obvious. I mean, obviously, the mainstream media isn't going to talk too much about this.
They haven't said a word about the memo yet.
Yeah, it's going to be a non. They're hoping. Can there be a shooting or a terrorist attack or something?
No, this is too big. The only thing they could cover this would be basically a terrorism attack that would from a now enemy nation that would lead to an active all-out war in the U.S.
Which the only one that would be is North Korea.
And I think even with North Korea, the memo still would get released, and we would still be fucking horrified.
Yeah, but their button is smaller and doesn't work.
Exactly.
It's a wild,
Just like North Korean penises.
wild event.
This whole actually technically the memo and the text could be one topic because it's basically the same thing. It's validation of everything Trump ever said.
Well, not only that, but it's validation of basically everything Alex Jones has said. When did Alex Jones become the truth teller of this generation? When did this happen? I remember back in 2010, the man was crazy. Now he's the great truth teller. The man who warned us against the storm.
Let's not get carried away there. He's still Alex Jones.
Well, the fact of the matter is he's
The next ambassador to the UN.
Prophet Alex Jones.
okay. Okay, the thing that everybody
Don't overthink it. He's just a humble water filter salesman.
the thing is, even the thing he's most mocked about, the frogs being gay, turns out he was fucking right. So
I
He was
suppose
half
to
right.
answer that, and Aileen Garak was just a simple tailor.
Yes, exactly. He was just a simple tailor.
but yeah, it's just
But also, just some quick breaking news that I heard a little while ago. Well, breaking for us. Apparently, the memo, bits of it have been leaked, and it names apparently Comey and the current deputy director of the FBI, who's I can't remember his name, but both of them are named plus a few other big names. So apparently, this document it's going to come out whether the Republicans want it or not, or the Democrats or anyone. This thing's going to come out. It's a hot potato, and what you do with the hot potato, you toss it around until someone drops it.
this is gonna be, gentlemen, grab your popcorn.
This is going to be one hell of a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
There
I mean,
could just be like a really riots or something with if.
No. It wouldn't be. It would be riots if the people who were responsible were held the presidency. Because Trump is in the White House, he can very quickly basically take this document, wave it around, saying, I will find these people, I will strip them of power, and I will protect you, the American people. And basically, overnight, his approval jumps by at least 20 points.
Well, the converse could be true as well. Those who are so antagonistic against him might get so desperate that they could resort to citywide riots.
Well, I can already see that their side of the argument. They're going to declare that he's seizing power and trying to silence all opposition.
Yeah, that's sort of my thing too with this entire thing. If half of it's true, and one piece of it is not validated, then they're just gonna go fuck it.
oh wow, what a fucking time to be in. Like, at some point, this era is gonna make an interesting book.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, one
It's
of
all
you,
I'm with her.
and at some point,
In
someone
prison.
who's going to be trained by you, or someone who was taught by someone who you taught, will be the one recording it. Think about that, Z.
Oh, hey, Wandering.
Oops.
Wandering arrives at the last
Oh my
minute.
fucking god, my mic was just... Ah!
Now that
Wait, you were here this entire time?
Yes, I was, but my mic was off. Okay.
Wondering
Why don't you type
what's
something?
made in China.
Why don't you type something and say, hey, I'm having mic troubles?
I didn't see it until... I replied, unplugged until I just hit refresh.
Oh, okay.
Now that Wandering's here, though, I have got to bounce.
Yep. See you, Z. Good luck in
Thanks a lot, Z.
California. Remember, there's a Black Hawk helicopter waiting in Nevada to exfil you and your girlfriend at a moment's notice.
Oh, and our tortoise. We gotta bring him.
Yeah,
Somebody's gotta
It's a
take
tortoise. You've got room.
him. Yeah. Hear that, little guy? You're gonna go eat grass somewhere else.
But the tortoise has got to leave a week before you so they can get there.
Oh, yeah. It's gonna take a little while. Lazy piece
I'm
of
proud
shit.
of you, Blip.
Anyway, see you, good people, and
See
good
ya.
luck out there.
See you, T.
Good night and good luck.
You'll be missed.
Yeah, I know.
All right,
Man,
so,
fuck that guy.
Oh.
but I mean, let's face it. Technically, well, I could have put the memo in text as separate. I mean, let's face it; they're the same topic. It's again, it is literally everything Trump said. is now documented. We have proof that, yes, everything he said was true.
You can hear the ejaculate forming just by thinking about it. Isn't it, buddy?
Oh, yeah.
The Empire. Glory to the Empire.
It's going to be 2016 for another 20 years at this rate.
If Lyndon B. Johnson was still alive,
It'll be maybe...
it'll be 2016 for the next 200 years.
The effect is going to definitely last for 40 years. Yeah. However, maybe even 50 or 60. If it turns into
it's
Watergate,
a paradigm shift. If once this document's released, which it's probably going to be the Watergate of the left and a much more serious one.
I highly doubt that. The problem is that if it's repressed enough, and it could be, I'd say it's a 50-50 shot of even getting half as popular as Watergate. Its effect will definitely last for about 40 years. However, the paradigm shift that'll occur, the amount of votes it'll swing, probably won't be that many, but the long-term effects will probably last that will be, big enough to matter. I'm guessing 8 years, which is good. That's 8 years where the left isn't in control, and if we can get through the next 10 years, we can have a right-wing dynasty again.
Would it be enough of a swing to allow us to have amendments that could lock this shit down for good, so they can't fuck with it without having to undo amendments?
If we had a Republican supermajority, then in theory, yeah.
Well, you could have a de facto supermajority because a couple of those blue dogs are probably going to be pretty worried about this, and they might side with Republicans to save their own asses.
I mean, okay, here's the difference between the era of Watergate and now. Well, politics was the political landscape was the landscape. The political arena was completely different. Because now it's just hard entrenchments. There are no debates. There is only attack, attack, attack. Silence the infidel.
Yeah. Look, it's going to be one thing that leads to it's one thing. And Ison, is there a possibility that you're wrong, that this document could be worse than you think it is?
Oh, totally. That's a 50-50 against the half level. And the thing is that it could possibly be, but like he said, I mean, I'm going to give you fucking credit. That's the kind of shit you hear in a 300 level political science course. We've actually, in a recent class, we're taught basically that over the course of the past 60 years, the United States has become a lot more partisan in its voting methods, which means it's a lot harder to turn votes.
Yeah.
That's why the Dems are being smart and getting them while they're young.
But the problem is it's backfiring. Look at the polling data from Gen Z, who's about to start voting.
Well, no, that's actually...
And
that
the
has
tail end of millennials
that
are
has
also
nothing to do with their marketing. That has everything to do with the culture, the underlying culture.
Yeah.
Which the culture itself swung so far left that we're having a right-wing pushback.
Red wave is
swing so far left. I'd say it decided to swing left too radically. They wanted their win now. They aren't willing to die before it happens. That's a huge mistake. A lot of people, they aren't willing to let themselves die before their dream becomes actualized, and that's why they're always going to lose. I'm willing to die knowing that my dream will never come true during my lifetime.
But MLK, I found with that.
Yeah, MLK, dude, that's why MLK's stuff lasts. It's explicitly because of the fact that he acknowledged the dream would never come true in his lifetime wholly.
Yeah, about the speech.
So Ison is going to be in the net. Why MLK?
So, I mean,
well, I wouldn't say that much.
Wasn't MLK part of the alt-right?
By today's standards, yes.
He was a socialist, though, guys. He was a socialist.
Well, he did advocate for equality, so yeah, he would be part of the alt-right.
By today's standards, yeah. Seriously, by today's standards, Martin Luther King Jr. would be considered
because he was colorblind. Therefore, he's part of the alt-right.
Oh, God. Blip. Calm the fuck down.
He wanted people to be treated by their actions and not by the color of their skin. But in today's standards,
that is racist.
But in today's standards, let's judge them by their skin and not their actions.
And he's not even asking their preferred pronouns. Ugh.
Right. I need to find a safe space. Any closing statements on this particular topic, gentlemen?
Probably at the end of the day, FBI still gets a cratership of a reputation.
Oh, it's already cratered. It's too late. It is cratered.
Well, then I'll change my statement to being the Fukushima of craters.
Over almost 50% of the nation, from basic polling data, which you know has been swung to try and support the left-wing narrative, is saying something like 46, 47, 48% do not trust the FBI. Just straight up say, we do not trust the FBI. It is game over for the FBI. The best option for them basically is to shit can almost everyone at the top and bring in a whole new staff.
It gets better. Think about what the recent government shutdown, where they caved in 3 days.
Yeah.
And even hardcore leftists are like, why the fuck did they give in? What the hell just happened? What the hell was the point?
Guys, I don't know if we should add this going from one topic into another that's related to the Donald and the crazy left. Mm-hmm. I'll leave it up to you guys whether you want to discuss it, but I'm just going to link you this article. If that's indeed true, then the Trumps may have come up with a deal.
So 1.8 million instead of the 35 million?
No. Okay, 1.8 million instead of about the 800,000. But here's the thing: it's a 10 to 12 year path of citizenship, and they haven't released the requirements to gain that citizenship. So it could be by the end of it, maybe 200,000 make it through the process. It's not an instant. You get citizenship now. It's here is the road you can take, and as long as you're on the road, we're not deporting you.
So that would sound reasonable.
Yep.
If that's the case,
along with almost all the funding for the wall, as well as ending chain migration to basically severely limiting it to parents and minor children only.
He was fucking right.
Yeah.
Mexico is paying for the wall.
Wait, how so? Wait, what?
1.8 million illegals in exchange for 25 billion for the wall. Jesus fucking Christ, he did it!
End of chain migration and the visa lottery. He's getting rid of the visa lottery with it?
Apparently, but until February 8th, we will just see what will happen with the Democrats.
So you tired? You tired of winning?
So,
no, Mr. President.
So it becomes a path to citizenship that requires a 10 to 12 year period where they have to demonstrate good behavior, work, and education requirements and good moral character.
So 100 to 200,000 maybe will survive the process.
And is that 25 billion lump sum straight away available?
Basically the wall is an immediate trust that can't. I think Trump. I don't know the details of it, but apparently they're putting it into a trust. So once the money's in there, it can only go for that project. It can't be used elsewhere, so they can't defund it. The money is up front.
It's not only for the southern border, but major security investments on the northern border.
Wall with Canada. Let's do it.
So no more chain migration.
Well, it'll allow spouses and minor children only.
Not for parents or extended family, which is basically all should have done in the first place. So no more Muhammad coming over, running a 7-Eleven, then inviting his brother Muhammad to come over.
His 30 kids and 4 wives.
And the new migration limitations would apply to all immigrants in the U.S., not just the newly legalized 1.8 million.
Yep, it applies to all. It also ends the diversity visa lottery and transfers those. I think it ends the diversity visa lottery and then transfers those into the normal system.
Mm-hmm.
When you say normal system, Stewart, do you mean Guantanamo Bay just got bigger?
Exactly.
So actually, mixed feelings on the fact that we originally just wanted straight up no deal.
So,
but let's face it, that was kind of
Yeah.
Not likely.
Well, also, this is basically this is the devil's bargain, the last devil's bargain Trump's going to give to the Democrats. If they slap this down, he's going to ask the Senate to invoke a nuclear option and bypass the Democrats.
Basically, he's giving them part of what they want, which is what they're screaming for, in exchange for what he wants.
Yep.
Because when he's holding all the cards.
Exactly. This is the best deal the Democrats are going to get. It's this or nothing. The best option would be to cave in the situation and take the minor political win. But the problem is it'll piss off their base.
Well, the legal base at that.
Okay.
So
Any closing comments on this topic, gents?
Let's see the deal maker in action.
Do we have some Keck or Cringe for this evening to close out? And we can hopefully quickly get through it. We are at 1 hour, 5 minutes.
Okay. Keck number 1. I only have one actual Keck right now because everything else is just stuff.
Yeah.
So, Shadman.
Oh, God.
I have Shadman on my Twitter feed. I'm following him just because his comments are amazing. He was poking fun at the newest model sex doll. What they and the people that made it basically gave him a discount code to hand out to his followers using his website name of Shadbase as a discount code. You can save money on sex dolls through Shadman.
Oh.
Nice.
That's going to go down well in Barcelona.
It's just like it seems like an end game. Shad has been acknowledged by the sex doll industry.
A founding father.
Of sorts, yes. And we have one cringe. This came up earlier, but we're going to throw it out here for discussion.
Do it now!
Because I think Wandering missed it.
I know, I was here the entire time, so.
Okay. Well, I don't think you were able to comment on it.
Yeah.
California proposes bill punishing wait staff for giving customers plastic straws before they ask for it.
We have entered the worst timeline.
You can't have plastic bags. Apparently also in California, they're limiting the amount of water you can use to like 25 gallons a day.
Isn't California by the sea?
Yeah.
But they import all their water.
Well, the thing is, California installed desal plants the last time there was a massive drought, and then decommissioned them immediately, and didn't keep maintenance on them. And now they're having to basically completely rebuild the damn things because they fell into such disrepair.
Maybe they can get some newer ones from Cuba.
But anyway, Ian Calderon, the Democratic majority leader in California's lower house, has introduced a bill to stop sit-down restaurants from offering customers straws with their beverages unless they specifically request one. Under his law, a waiter who serves a drink with an unrequested straw in it can face up to 6 months in jail and a fine of up to $1,000.
Oh, for fuck.
What are you in for? I gave somebody a straw.
Holy shit, you monster!
Rape him!
And he included ice in my drink, too.
Yeah, you ever seen that meme of the guy who's like, what are you in for? And it's like, oh, I put a plastic straw in someone's drink. He just backs the fuck up.
Yep, that's the one that I pictured that meme actually.
Good, Anakin, good.
Search your feelings.
So he basically, as someone in the food service industry, I can say this: if you don't use the straw given to you, they throw it away automatically. It does not go back into the pile. It does not get set aside. No, it goes in the trash. I'm not telling you to use your straw because I don't give a flying fuck if you use your fucking straw. I don't.
No,
use
you were telling me to use my straw, and I don't appreciate your forcefulness.
No, I don't care if you use your damn straw because I don't use fucking straws because straws are for pussies. But I'm just telling you what happens with the damn straw. So if you want to go screaming about straw lives matter, then you have to use
We're
the damn.
at that fucking phase.
Actually, yes.
If you carry a bladed metal straw, which is to be used permanently, would that be the final one?
The last straw.
Shut the fuck up.
The last of straws.
So, Spot, should we enter the closing phase?
Actually, we are actually going to show a little bit more cack that you gave us, Blop.
Oh, I'm at fault there.
Yes. Because Blop, you showed us the way.
Oh no.
The Ugandan president declares his love for Donald Trump in spite of shithole country's remarks.
And there goes our monetization.
Yeah.
There goes the loss of my brain cells.
So, yeah, and it's just so fuck. This is great.
Why are you running?
Why are you running?
Despite the alleged slight, which Mr. Trump denied, Uganda's president said the U.S. president should be praised for not mincing his words. I love Trump because he tells Africans frankly. I don't know whether he was quoted or whatever, but he talks to Africans frankly. In the world, you cannot survive if you are weak.
Citadel!
No, that's not a citadel. That's a magazine detonation.
Woo!
On a battleship.
So, yeah, gentlemen, you know the way. He has the Ebola. Oh my God. So the president of a quote-unquote shithole country says, this man is honest. He's frank. He is not weak. I love this man.
Because the country's a shithole. Oh my God.
Other things we could have covered today is the H&M stuff, but you know what? We're not going to cover it. We're not going to talk about it. We can save that for another time if it develops more. But on that note, because we are running over time, we are going to head and go into the closing segment, which is final thoughts on all the discussions we've had. Ison, closing thoughts.
You know what? I'm just going to give a book recommendation to Dr. Peterson's book. That is all. It's a good read. Sort yourself out, bucko.
Blibbity blop.
My text messages are bigger than yours, and they stay forever.
Seawall, closing thoughts.
I've fun and ready for the new Reich, the American Reich, yeah?
I have Lufthansa. Beggar Hero, thoughts of the closing?
Probably two things. One, Jordan Peterson actually makes the Bible somewhat interesting. And two, come on, Trump. We need it.
Token Asian Man, Wandering, your closing thoughts.
Siwa, get the pencil slip in the Luga.
That was the worst German accent I've ever heard.
Well, it's
Hans gets the Luca.
Hans gets the pencil slip.
Actually,
Hans, it's a Flammenwerfer. We have some Vietnamese barbecue to make, yeah.
Wondering, are you the Japanese transfer soldier?
Nah.
Okay.
Nah, he's the special needs hire.
It's a libertarian.
And the thoughts I have.
I've never heard that one before.
I never heard your ones before.
Yeah, gentlemen.
I don't talk to retards.
Gentlemen. Well, save the cat fight for the Batcave, where we could actually charge people for it. But honestly, the only things I have to say this is we're watching more self-destruction on the left, and it's about to get glorious. I have a box of popcorn just ready to go, and a case of Dr. Pepper. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. So, with that in mind, this has been the Deplorable Batcave podcast. Your source for all things Keck, cringe, and what the fuckery. Till next time. Later.